All right, guys, what is going on? This video is going to be all about whether you should do your first few website projects for free or whether you should start charging money from the very beginning. So a very common question from beginners before they get their first job is whether they should try and charge people a certain amount of money, whether it's small or whether it's big, or whether they should pitch their services for free and try and convince a business owner to let them either build them a new website or improve their old website for free, use that experience to gain some confidence, to have this portfolio piece that they can then use later to hopefully get more sales. So I'm going to give you my experience on that topic. I've been a web designer for just a little over 2 years, completely self-taught, but I now make over 6 figures every year. So this is going to be my experience. When I first started off, I did do some projects for free, and then I very quickly moved towards doing paid projects. So I'm going to run through throughout this video my thoughts on the best possible way for you to go about doing this and to start making money as fast as possible in the easiest way possible. All right, so if you're asking this question, you're generally in one of two places. You're either somebody still learning how to code and you're wondering, should you go out there and kind of get paid to learn as you build for somebody else? Or you're somebody who's been coding for a while, you're actually pretty confident at building websites. You've just never built a website for somebody else. Maybe you've done a few for yourself or for close friends or family, but you've never gone out there and pitched your services to a real business. So I'm going to break down these two different scenarios differently. There is quite a bit of overlap there, but there is also a different approach for those two things. So the first scenario is somebody who's still learning how to code, still getting the basics down, and they're wondering, should they go out there and instantly pitch their services, or should they do a few projects for free first, just to kind of get more confidence, more experience in themselves. And then when they feel like the value is good for other people, they can go ahead and start charging money for their services. All right, so me personally, when I started off with web design, I was in that first category. I had very little coding experience. I had just taken some courses on YouTube and on Udemy, had made my first little kind of mock-up website, and I now wanted to go out there and start pitching my services, making money. So I thought for me personally, the best thing to do at the time was to get one portfolio piece kind of under my belt, and then I could use that portfolio piece to go out there and get more sales. So what I did was I approached my uncle. He builds garden sheds, and I told him, look, I'll build you a website. If you get good value out of this website, if you get some sales, you can pay me at a later date. So I set up this website. It took me maybe 1 to 2 weeks to code it. So I got that website online. It was online for maybe like 6 months, and he never got a single sale from the website. So although I got a little bit of experience and I got a little bit more confidence in my own skills, it was definitely a failure as far as, getting success for my uncle or providing value through the website. So I made a lot of common mistakes. Now that I look back, I can see all those mistakes, and I'm going to basically show you how to avoid that yourself. All right, so the first huge mistake that I made was I basically built a website, and even though it looked good, it was still a website that wasn't really needed for this particular business. So when you start selling your services as a web design builder, it's going to be based upon the value that you provide. And there's a few different ways that people price their services. Some people price by their time. Some people price by the project. But when you do value-based pricing, when your price is based upon the amount of results you get for your client, that's the most profitable direction you can go in. That's how you make big money with web design. So starting off with a website, building it for somebody who didn't really need a website, it wasn't really part of their advertising system. They didn't really have anything offline that told people to go to the website. There was no business cards with a URL. There was no online marketing. There was no AdWords to point people to this website. It just kind of sat there on a domain. Nobody even really went to it because they didn't even know it was there. So of course it got no sales. So as good as that website looked, and for a first website, it didn't look too bad. It was okay. It just never really got any results and never got any sales for the business owner. So even though it looked really good, there's no real value in that product for him, because it just never got him results. Why would he pay for something that looks good? It's a business. It's got to have a purpose. It's got to be there for a reason. So that's the first mistake that I made with my first project that you should definitely avoid. When you're picking who to work with, whether it's paid or whether it's for free, as you start off, make sure, most important thing, that it's going to be somebody who gets real results and has a real need for that website. You don't want to build a website for somebody who just isn't going to use it, who isn't going to have people viewing that website, reading it, and taking some form of action. Why that's so important is later, when it comes time to selling your services to bigger clients for potentially more money, you need to show that you've done things in the past, that you've solved certain problems for people, that you've created solutions, that you've gotten them results. It could be more sales, it could be better clients, it could be additional projects, whatever. It's going to depend on who you build for. But you want to make sure that after you've done these initial kind of starting few projects, that you're beginning to get real results for people, that you're really creating something that has a lot of value. And it can be small in the beginning, that's fine. You can work for small businesses, but you need to show some form of results so that later when you're selling your services, now you can start charging good money. You can start, really having this good sales pitch based upon not just what you're saying, but what you've also done in the past that backs up what you're saying. All right, so let's quickly run through this list. So what we're trying to figure out, again, is whether to do websites for free or whether to do websites for a small amount of money when we start off. But you got to think of this as the bigger picture. What's really important to your business in 3 months from now, in 6 months from now, from the work that you're doing today, that you're doing this week. So the most important thing, as time passes and you look back, is that you put together a great portfolio at the beginning in the shortest amount of time possible, because that allows you later to sell much bigger websites for much bigger clients. So whether we're going to do a website for free or whether we're going to do a website for a small amount of money, we have to make sure that we still keep all these things into account. So who we work with, again, we cover this, make sure that it's somebody who's going to see real results, that's going to have real benefits from the website that you build them. If you have the choice, try and pick somebody in a good niche that relies upon a website to get new customers, to get new sales. So certain businesses don't really rely on a website at all or even too much. Other businesses mostly rely upon a website to get new customers. So an example of one industry, let's say a coffee shop or a corner shop, they might just rely upon people walking past their door, seeing something written in the window, and then they just go inside and make a sale. An example of a good industry to pick would be, let's say, furniture removal. I'm most likely not going to leave my house and see a sign for furniture removal. It's something that I'm going to have to search online, visit the website, and kind of spend a few minutes deciding between different websites who I should pick, who's the best service to use. So try and pick industries, try and pick niches that people are going to visit the website and they're going to use the content on the website to make a sales decision. Basically, again, because building those sort of websites is allowing us to show our ability to make a real difference for businesses, to bring in real money for them, to bring in new customers, new clients. And that's what allows us later to charge a lot more money. So whether we do it for free in the beginning or whether we do it for a small amount of money, it's just really important that we're choosing the right people to work with. This is how you're very quickly going to start having a profitable web design business within a few weeks, within a few months, is having that portfolio to show people. So the next thing is, again, picking people who are invested. Make sure that they actually care, that they're going to give you what you need to build a great website. You're going to need content. You're going to need information. You might need pictures or videos. You're going to need factual information like their phone number, their physical address, their opening hours, the services that they offer, a little bit about the history of the company, why people should choose them over their competitors, etc. So even if you're doing it for free or if you're doing it for a small amount of money, you need to make sure that people are going to give you that content that you need to produce a great website. If they don't give it to you, then you're never going to be able to get great results because you don't even know what problem you're trying to solve, what you're trying to build for these people. So that is a really important thing. If you're going to do a website for free, you still have to make sure that these people care and that even if they go, okay, yeah, build me a free website, that they're still going to take the time and the effort to give you everything that you need to put together that website in a short amount of time. All right, and the third point was outcome. We cover this. Make sure that you're getting real results. Make sure that there's real value, there's real benefit for the people that you work with. This next topic here, what to build. So when you choose who to work with and you choose somebody that's going to get, a great result from the website that you build them, make sure that whatever you build them in the beginning, that you keep it simple, you keep it clean, you keep it basic. You don't want to start off with a project that's really complicated, that has all these pages, that's going to go on for weeks and months. And there's a few different reasons for this. One, it's going to kill your motivation. In the beginning, you're not getting paid much. So it's not nice to be doing all this work. It just seems to never end. It's dragging on for ages. that's not a good place to start. You're more than likely going to quit web design, or you're just going to have this really negative reference experience that you're going to keep with you for months or for years. So make sure in the beginning, pick something that's going to be easy to finish, that's going to be easy to do. The next thing is to keep in mind, look, you're not getting paid that much in the beginning. You might even be doing it for free. So the profitable jobs are going to come later, and the profitable jobs are going to be based upon the work that you've done in the past. The thing about people looking at your ability in the future is they're going to look back and they're going to see what you did. It doesn't have to be these huge, big websites. It's much better to have much better quality websites than it is to have quantity. So if somebody, a business owner, is looking at what you've done in the past and they see 3 websites that are really well made, but very, very small, maybe even they're one-page websites, that's much more likely that they're going to go ahead and hire you than if they've seen that you only did one website and it was 20 pages big and it just wasn't that good and it was kind of all over the place and it just didn't look amazing. So it's much better to do really good examples of what you're capable of that are small than it is to do something big that the work quality just isn't that good. So for your own motivation and for your own potential of getting future projects, keep it simple, keep it clean, keep it basic. Have a project that you can get through in a few days or in a week that just looks really, really good. And again, for the right people in the right niche, and that's going to get them results. The third thing here is kind of a bonus. It's nice to pick people that when you do this project and it looks good, that you can use them as a case study. So you can ask them that in the very beginning. If I do a great job at this, do you mind if I use this project to sell other projects? They should agree to that. I mean, that's kind of standard. Look for businesses and people that you can work with who might have a lot of connections. So there could be a very well-connected local business person. Maybe they're in charge of some sort of club or organization. Maybe they just have access to a niche in some way that benefits you when that project is finished. And again, just combining all of this, work for people that make the next step as easy as possible. And the next step is going to be trying to charge more money for your website services. So whether you do your first project for free or for a very small amount, you're logically trying to move up the ladder to charge you more and more money. So combine all these things and just work with the right people who are going to make it as easy as possible to progress in the future. If you do a project for somebody and they never use it, it's in a terrible niche, nobody ever visits the website, it was way too big, it was way too complicated, it doesn't look good, that's making it really, really hard to move forwards towards getting high-paying jobs. If you had picked someone in a great industry who gave you all the material right away that you needed, who only wanted a simple, basic website, but who got a lot of results from that website, and who was more than happy to tell everyone that you're great, they had a lot of connections, they know a lot of people, that makes it really, really easy to move towards getting high-paying jobs in the very near future. And that's what we want to make sure. So all of these things are much more important to keep in mind than whether you're going to do it for free or whether you're going to do it for $100 or $500. The most important thing is, as you look towards your web design career, you want to start off on the right foot. You want to do work that leads to higher paying jobs. Keep all of these things in mind, pick the right person in the right industry, the right sort of website, and somebody hopefully that is well connected, that's happy to promote your services. You're going to be off to a great start. You're going to be very quickly moving towards highly profitable jobs. So the second part of this is people who already know how to build websites, are actually pretty decent with web design. They just never pitched their services to somebody else before, and they're kind of not too sure how to sell. So all the basics I just covered in that first part, they definitely still apply. The only difference here is you kind of have more bargaining power because you're more sure in your coding abilities. And for those who are in the first group, who are still learning to code, don't worry, you're going to very quickly be in the second group. But when you've done a few websites for yourself and you know that you have this ability to build a great website, that your design skills are really, really good, you do have a little bit more bargaining power when it comes time to pitching your services. So again, cover all these basics, make sure it's the right person, right niche, you know all these things by now. But when it comes time to make the deal, you can be a little bit more persuasive. You can go, look, I know how to do web design. I've been doing this for a while. This just happens to be my first project for a real business. So what I would like to do is do this project for, and you could either say free or you could say for a certain amount of money. So only $200, only $500. But the value you're getting in return is worth so much more than that. This thing is going to bring in huge results for your business. It's going to create more sales. It's going to create more clients. And I'll cover this in other videos, how to make sure that your websites are getting huge results. But because you have this confidence in your ability, because you already know how to code, you can drive a little bit of a better deal. Again, in the beginning, this is the most important thing. Profit comes later. As you start learning web design, you need to prove your ability to solve problems, to create value in order for you to be charging a lot of money and to make profit. So in the beginning, it's more important to focus on your portfolio. Whether you do sites for free or whether you do them for whatever amount of money, the most important thing is that you're picking real businesses that are going to get huge results. The better the result that you can get and the better the problem you can solve for that business through a website, the more value you're worth as a web designer, the more people will pay you in the future to solve the same problems for their business. So before our focus is on making profit, and that will come in time, our focus should be on putting together a great portfolio. Ideally, what we want to have as quick as possible when we start learning web design is 3 to 5 really good portfolio pieces of, business A that you helped improve their revenue 40%. Business B, you brought in 100 extra clients every month. Business C, you landed in this huge project that we're trying to get for ages. If you have a portfolio like that and you can start showing people, this business, I helped them this way, this business, I did this other business, now they're getting this result and I fixed this problem for them. That's when you're worth a lot of money as a web designer. That's when it makes it really easy for you to sell your services. So keep this in mind as you go out there and you pitch, your first website deals, that it's not all about money in the beginning. It's much more important to be picking the right people. If you're going to do a website for free, I recommend you only do 1 or 2 ever, but you got to make sure if you're not making money that it's worth your time to do it. So if you're going to do it for free, these things are even more important, that you pick the right people, that you're getting good results, that it's leading to somewhere better in the future. There's no point doing a free website that doesn't tick these boxes, because it's just never going to result in getting paid work in the future. It's just pretty much time wasted. So if you are making a little bit of money, okay, at least you made something. But again, it's much more important to be building these websites, building your portfolio, showing people that you're getting real results, show people that you have the ability to help their business solve problems, create value, get them the solution, get them to that place that they want to go. If you like this video, subscribe, give it a like, comment below with either feedback or suggestions for future videos. I'll check them out. I'll write back. And if you have a suggestion, I'll plan on making that video if I can. So thanks for watching, and I hope you got huge value out of this.